We thank you all for tuning in with us this morning. And so please bear with us as we get started and we do what is a countdown so that we can get all of our viewers tagged and everyone can be aware of when we are starting. Good morning, world, and welcome back to yet another fun-filled episode here with us on the Early Morning Sports Talk podcast, on which we will proclaim will be another great episode this morning. So, yes, world, we are back like a shark attack, back like we love some, back like we ain't got no clothes in our back, and for the world is a better place when the Early Morning Sports Talk podcast is taking place. And so, thank you for tuning in with us this morning as we conversate about the latest sports topics that have taken place from this past week and will be upcoming this week. It's always a blast to have you all tune in and participate with us every weekend. As a reminder that every week we always like to begin our podcast by reminding our audience that the Early Morning Sports Talk podcast can be found on Facebook via the Early Morning Sports Talk podcast community page, on Instagram at the Early Morning Sports Talk podcast, again at Instagram or on Instagram at the Early Morning Sports Talk podcast, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify as the Early Morning Sports Talk podcast, as well as our own Facebook pages via Brandon Price, Jamar Goodman, Ian Jones, as well as generally our guests, but no guests for this weekend, but check in with us next weekend. Today is November the 11th of 2023, and we have seen yet again another fascinating week in the sports world, where we saw the Chicago Bears amazingly put themselves out, yet at the same time in contention for the first round pick of the NFL draft. How cool is that thanks to the Carolina Panthers? Additionally, we saw teams such as the LA Lakers have an awful week, keynoted with the injury of star center Anthony Davis, leaving LeBron to carry the load. On the other hand, the LA Clippers welcome star shooting guard James Harden, only to have a bad week of chemistry, dropping three straight and having people wondering, is James Harden truly a cancer? Especially after watching how his former team, the Philadelphia 76ers, are clicking on all cylinders in the first place within the Eastern Conference, balling out without his absence. And then lastly, the MLB World Series champions paraded through Austin to celebrate their World Series championship, whereas additionally, Craig Cancel ousted our rival Milwaukee Brewers to now become manager of the Chicago clubs in a last-ditch effort to keep show. Oh, and additionally, the LA Angels hired former Texas Ranger and veteran baseball coach Ron Washington in a last-ditch effort to hopefully keep Shohei Ohtani and Mike Trout around, two of supposedly the top five players in baseball around. And so now with this hiring, we will hope to see finally an improvement with a team that is so talented, supposedly on paper, but have yet to prove it with wins and have yet to even hit October, even think about October. And so, with that being said, introducing my brother from another mother and one of my partners here on the Early Morning Sports Talk podcast, Mr. Jamar Goodman. Good morning, sir. How are you?
We won a game.
Yes, we did.
We won a game. Dream come true. I'm good,
Man,
fellas. How y'all doing?
I'm good,
I'm
bro.
good. I'm good.
And additionally, introducing our partner here on the Early Morning Sports Talk podcast and our other brother from another mother, Mr. Ian Jones, aka Rod Tierwell, Mr. Smooth Teddy Pendergrass, Mr. Ian Jones, my bro, what it do?
P Price, Jay Good. We back. We back like a shark attack.
Yes, sir, baby. Yes,
Gotta
we
got
are.
gotta got us a win this week.
Man, feels good, don't it? And so, with that being said, let's get right into it, fellas. So, the Chicago Bears, they win. And so, with that being said, fellas, we watched the game. And so, with that being said, I want you guys' thoughts. And so, Jamar, we're gonna start with you, and then we're gonna follow up with you, and just your thoughts from this game. And that's just it. I mean, what else can we talk about? So, your thoughts from this game, bro. What did you think of the game? What happened? Anything interesting? Come on, let's just start there.
Man, both teams are who we thought they were. Like,
Right.
in all seriousness, I'm thinking to myself in the middle of this game, like the first team to score an offensive touchdown probably gonna win this game because outside of that punt return, Carolina wasn't doing anything on offense. At least we was moving the ball down the field, but just field goal after field goal after field goal until eventually we made a couple of key third down plays, got into the red zone, and Foreman been looking good all night. He finally punched one in. Um, Bajent, he didn't turn over the ball. He didn't do anything egregious. He pretty much was your ultimate game manager, like this decade's Cal Orton. That's what it felt like in that
Mm-hmm.
game. Um, Cole Kmet, he was doing his thing. DJ Moore, I wanted him to get the ball a little bit more, but he was okay. He was okay. Nothing negative there. Um, if I'm not mistaken, I don't think our guy got sacked at all. If I'm not mistaken.
No, it was the first time since the '90s the Bears didn't give up a sack, didn't turn the ball over, and they didn't give up a offensive touchdown in the same game. I think since like 92, 91, or something like that. Crazy,
That's
right?
Wow,
that is wild,
Yeah,
that's crazy
wild.
to hear from a Bears football team.
yeah,
And it's considering that like between then and now, we've actually had some elite defenses over the course of that span. So like for all that to happen at once, that's interesting.
yeah.
Um, Montez Sweat, 8 pressures, 8 of them boys came right on in and let 3 of our guys eat. We still last in the league in sacks, but they got 3 of them against Bryce. So I mean, all in all, I mean, defense played well. Our run defense has been stout in the last few weeks. Nobody want to talk about it, but it has been.
They have been. Thank you for pointing that out. They've actually been one of the best in the league actually thus far this season.
They are. I think they were top 4 against the run or something like that, which
I thought
was
they were top.
I don't think they're top, but they in that conversation.
Okay, yeah, they somewhere.
Yeah, like no BS. Yeah, I mean, great win. But the last thing I'll say, I can't wait to see number one back out there at this point. I'm ready to see Justin.
Yeah,
I'm
for
ready to see
sure.
Justin because I felt like if Justin played, this game wouldn't have been nowhere near as close as what it was
Yeah.
Thursday. That's my
We,
opinion on that one.
we having a conversation, Jamar, bro. And I was just under the mindset that if Justin had been healthy, like some of these games, the Bears probably be freaking 500, probably at least 4-6. We be somewhere right there to where we would be at least still fighting for a wild card, at least.
Yeah.
But it just sucks. But anywho, Ian, your thoughts, bro?
Uh, it's the Panthers and the Bears. Probably one of the worst Thursday night games ever.
It was a boring
Nevertheless,
game, wasn't it?
yeah. Nevertheless, they got the W. Maybe they can build off of this win and get some confidence. After losing every week, that's that it messes with your psyche and your confidence. Just to just really do the simple things. So hopefully they can build off that. And I'm ready to see Justin and the Panthers. They're bad. I mean, I wasn't really surprised that they won the game. And I would have been really appalled if they lost because I
Right.
mean the Panthers are just as bad as we are. The offensive line is trash. I mean, I feel bad for Bryce, but nevertheless, we got the win. Um, Man, Deontay Foreman been running that ball these last couple of weeks, so I don't know. Roshan Johnson, like you didn't got couple carries taken away from him. But nevertheless, a win is a win. We'll take it. Kind of build off of it and look to next week. got those got those gritty Lions.
Right. Got them actually the next 2 or 3 weeks. Got three division games coming up, and we got a bye in 2 weeks. And so, yeah, the Bears. Just watching the game, guys. I'm sitting there on my computer because I watch football, y'all, on my computer here. And I'm just looking and thinking like this is big NFL draft implications here. And as the game is going on, I'm literally watching it and watching two bad teams play. And I'm watching just a lack of offensive production, a lack of excitement. And I'm like, this is actually the perfect boring game. Thursday night. Literally two of the worst football teams in football, probably the worst two. Maybe some people might argue the Cardinals, etc., are worse. But these are, two bad football teams. And I'm just sitting there thinking the whole time, y'all, like, regardless if the Bears win or lose, we still in good position to get our draft pick. That's all I kept thinking is we still in good position to get our draft pick. And so at the end of the day, that's all that really matters. We still good to get a receiver, whatever, or even try to get a quarterback. That was just what I kept thinking the whole time. Jamal, you just gonna say something?
Dude, I keep saying it. Like, imagine having one win on the year and not have your draft pick.
Right.
Yeah, that's man, that's nothing.
Like,
It's like, what do we look forward to as an organization?
at all. So for them Panthers fans, Ian, I know you're part of that group. Like, geez, I don't know what to tell you. You're gonna have to, like, it's gonna be a long off season.
They're gonna have to make a they're gonna have to sacrifice. Maybe I know they don't want to do it, but maybe they'll have to give Brian Burns up to
To get
get
another
some
pick.
draft capital or get some picks because they need O-line help and things
Panthers
of that
need help
nature and a
everywhere.
receiver, yeah, and a dominant number and a true number one receiver.
Yeah, but Adam Thielen, speaking of receivers, he was ticked off. You guys didn't hear about his rant that he went on
No,
going to Soldier Field as a former Minnesota Viking and losing to that bad Bears team. He got on everybody, even including the rookie.
Yeah,
as
And
he
he was
so,
should.
pissed.
Hold them accountable.
yeah,
He was pissed.
Adam Thielen has been the most consistent player on the Carolina Panthers this season.
By far.
Yeah,
Yeah, calling out.
I think
You
he's
know?
top 10 in the receiving in the league right now. I think.
I think
At
you're
one
right.
point, he was top 5. I
And
don't know
then
if he's still there, but
probably not because of that bye week, but
yeah.
like you throw all this money at Miles Sanders and yeah, you don't really use the guy. So like, what's up with that?
Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. But this is a part of a franchise, guys. It's when you get a rookie quarterback, starting afresh. That's the Carolina Panthers right now. They are in a rebuild seriously, and they look like it. And so the Chicago Bears should have won the game. And if they would have lost the game, it was a post that was made on the Early Morning Sports Talk podcast community page that if Matt Eberflus lost that game, what Friday morning possibly would have looked like rather than Black Monday. And so, Black Monday is, the day after the NFL season's over. And so people were very skeptical, like what would Friday morning look like if he loses to the Carolina Panthers? And so,
Speaking of Flus, man, yeah, he needs to go. And I'm not like
I think he's going. I think it's imminent, Jamar. He's going after the end of the season.
I'm not
Black Monday, it's a wrap.
Yeah. I'm all for that. But it's just like it's the little things now. Like I'm listening to the radio, the ESPN radio throughout the week, and of course he has his weekly press conference, and they were talking about like the status of Justin Fields. Like they got him listed as doubtful, and then in the conference he was like, Bagent is starting and Justin Fields is out, but you just listed him as doubtful. Yeah, 51% says no. Like just basically like, so is Justin playing or not?
Yeah, that's what the reporter asked. I'm like, dude, stop beating around the bush. Just say if he playing or not.
Hey, this ain't the first time like he just looking like lost, dazed, and confused in front of the media this year either.
Right.
So I like look, you got to have a certain type of personality and personality traits to lead a group of men. You got to have that in order to be successful in any type of position at a professional level. Like Mike Tomlin, like no matter what, you know darn well that if you was playing for Mike Tomlin, you run into a brick wall for that man because he
Yep.
know how to lead a group of men. Does Eberflus give you that? To give you that
No, he's a
that warm pussy?
softie.
Yeah, ain't
I
no
mean,
way.
apparently for Antonio Pierce too, because that's what Devontae Adams said. He's ready to run through a wall, and he went right in and blew the Giants out. Even though the Giants are having, an abysmal season, but
Right.
like I don't know. I don't think Eberflus has lost the locker room, but I just don't think he's the guy to get us to where
Well,
we need to go.
and what you saying, bro, is everybody know it. Everybody think the same thing you think, bro. And the truth is everybody know, everybody knows. The biggest thing with Eberflus at this point is it going to be Black Monday? Is it going to be before Black Monday?
Yeah.
Is it? And what can he get out of the team? Um, he bring up a good point, Victor Young, but Victor Young gonna come on here and troll us anyway for the Bears. You see his reaction here. Facebook user got a face here, and so he stated
Post
they're
it.
grown men. They shouldn't need motivation. He has a point from the coach to win. They should want to win.
So let me counter that. So I mean, yeah, that
It's
part of
true.
that is true. However, like um when you play professional sports at this high level, it's like some guys are motivated differently. Like there's guys out here that love the game and will go play hard no matter what, and there's guys out here that just use it just for a lifestyle. They don't love the game. They just out here just to be out here, just to get a
Right,
paycheck, just to have that lifestyle. So
right,
it's different. It's not like you coaching like young men in college or in high school. That's a little different than people that's getting paid like tens and 20 times more than you are. So
Hmm.
it's a different atmosphere. So it's like you gotta have someone to you know to basically get them to that point, especially the ones that don't love the game. Now, like Victor said, players gotta go out there and play. That's just what it is. But you still gotta have somebody to know how to push the right buttons to get them to play at the highest level, even if they're not motivated themselves.
true. Yep, yeah. And Victor, you are good, bro. Like we appreciate your commentary just to be able to facilitate the conversation. Um, like that's what we need. That makes us talk. When we have interaction, that makes us talk. It makes us come up with conversation, etc. Because you're absolutely right, Jamar. Mike Tomlin has the utmost respect out of his players, and I guess it's a reason why that dude every year he's above 500 and taking a team with not a lot of big names, you know, to the postseason, et cetera, and doing improbable things with a franchise that has been very consistent. Um, and so, yeah, good morning, Lisa. She stated that's true. And so, yeah, we will see what happens with the Bears. Is Justin Fields going to come back? Yesterday, it was noted Stephen A. Smith. I ran into it just looking at my phone. It was a video. He stated in regards to Justin Fields that he should not play another game for the Chicago Bears because it's not a respectable franchise. And basically stating that the franchise has disrespected him and the franchise is just a terrible franchise. And based off of our history with quarterbacks, based off of our history with wins, etc., he stated that Justin Fields shouldn't even come back, that he should look forward to Atlanta or some other team, something like that. And so just curious on you guys' thoughts from that, because I don't like to hear that. And I disagree with Stephen A. Smith. I want Justin back. I'm firmly stating, I do not want us to draft a quarterback. I'd rather for us go get a receiver or some other weapons and keep Justin. That's me. But how do you guys feel about that, Jamar? And how do you feel about what the Bears should do with Justin? Do you just, like feel like they should play him out for the rest of this year and see what he does and see how he does? Because for me, I feel like even if he stinks up the joint, I still want him back next year. That's me.
Yeah. Look, like by default, I feel like you still have to see what you have in him to make the actual like decision. I'm on the mindset. I'm pretty much with you. I really don't want to draft a quarterback in this draft unless I absolutely have to, and that would mean Justin Fields either turns into Mitchell Trubisky for the last like few games of the year, like all the way to that point, or he just get a catastrophic injury, God forbid, and something like that.
Right.
Basically, I want to believe that he will have the ability to do what needs to be done to where the front office and Kevin Warren's to the point to where, all right, we got 2 high draft picks. Let's actually use this to build around what we already have instead of hitting the reset button once again, and then going through the same cycle one more time. Like we haven't had a real competitive team since that double doink year.
Mm-hmm.
I know we made the playoffs a little bit after that, but that wasn't, that season felt like we felt like we was in purgatory that year. That didn't feel good at all. So it's like, can we actually have some sustainability to like build on top of what we're already building? Because I know it's a process, and you see there are a few bright spots here, and I feel like we are better off this year than we was last year. So it's like, can we continue to build on that? And at this point, I'm pretty much ready for the off season to see who stays, who goes. Can the players basically keep the players that want to play, including Justin? Because I feel like Justin checks a lot of boxes. He doesn't check every box, obviously, but he checks a lot of them. If he checked every box, he'd be in the same conversation with the Josh Allen, the Patrick Mahomes, the Joe Burrows of the world, right? But not quite there. But still, I mean, I would rather have him than definitely a lot of quarterbacks that started last week in the NFL. Do I got to mention the likes of Clayton Tune, Jaren Hall, Brett Ripien?
They had a terrible week.
My gosh. So I'm just saying, like, I'd rather, if it makes sense to continue to build upon what we already started, basically keep the players that want to play, get the right personnel in there that would lead this group to the next level, like just continue to build upon that. That's where I'm at.
I'm with you, man. Lisa, good morning. She stated a new quarterback will not fix the issue for the team. We need to build around Justin. And Victor Young stated they need to play him to see what they have and keep Eberflus is his first year. But this is Eberflus' second year. He hasn't had a chance to do anything and came into a bad situation with bad players. He did come into a bad situation with bad players. I look at it like they are a terrible team, but they looked worse last year. LOL. Now that's the troll. All right. And so, Ian, bro, your thoughts on Justin? What do you think the Bears should do? Play him out for the rest of this, see what they got, and say for instance, and just as hypothetical, Justin goes out and he stinks up the joint. What do you do if he looks bad with this team? You're in a role of GM now.
If I'm in a role of GM, I'm keeping Justin because I'm really not that fascinated with Caleb Williams or any other quarterback coming out. They're not better than Justin Fields. I don't really think it's close.
I mean, plus you don't want Caleb either. He stated that whatever team that drafts him, he wants ownership, partial ownership of the team, and so that would mean. I mean, it might be a blessing in disguise because if he get drafted by the Bears, at least the old lady will have to give up part of her ownership.
Nobody's doing that. I mean, that's a cool thought for him to have, but for a rookie to come in and you haven't proven anything, and hell, Peyton Manning or Tom Brady couldn't even get that while they were playing. You think you about to get that? Boy, hell no. But anyways, we gotta keep, like Jamar stated, we gotta keep Justin. So I do understand what Stephen A. Smith was saying. He was talking as if, just talking to him straight, not Justin Field, like talking to Justin Fields' demand, just looking at it, coming from it, looking at it outside the situation is just like, you got this talented kid, he comes over here. We don't really know how to use him. We're not using him right. We're not putting the correct players around him. He doesn't have a good team. Uh, I said it this the other day in that conversation. These kids like Justin Fields, Trevor Lawrence, they've been winning all their life since they were 19 years old. They
Yep.
go to high school, they barely lose a game. They go to college, they end up being 28 and lose two games, and those are championship games. Then they come to a situation like the Bears and probably haven't even won 10 games in 3 to 4 years. I mean, that's depressing, bro. Like, that messes with your head, that messes with your psyche, and it makes you think like, man, can I really play this game at a high level? Am I supposed to be here, or am I doing things right? Then he has these great games like against Washington, or I think his second year when he played the Steelers. We played the Steelers on a Monday night, or that run he went on last year. Where he played great, and we couldn't even get a win. That's depressing. It's just I think we should keep him, but I just think we just can't keep hitting the reset button with quarterback, and we're gonna try this quarterback because it's gonna be the same thing. I mean, if, just hypothetically speaking, if Justin Fields leaves. And we draft Caleb Williams, which I hope we don't. But we draft Caleb Williams. He gonna look just like Justin Fields. He gonna be running for his life. Then he gonna be running around trying to play fast break football, thinking he Patrick Mahomes, and that ain't it. I mean, if hindsight 2020, looking at if we drafted Patrick Mahomes probably would look the same way. Coach after coach, offense after offense, no receivers. Hell, he's struggling now with not a dominant receiver with great coaching. So I mean, we got no more receivers now, but before though. So I get what Stephen A was saying. Just looking at it, like you don't want to see a player with that much talent go through what he's going through. It's really
Right.
it's really sickening. It's like, man, you rather see him in a better situation. And I agree. I do want to see him in a better situation, but the Bears fan in me wants him to stay. I don't want us to start over. It doesn't really make sense. It doesn't make sense. Well, we're gonna keep doing this over and over again. We'll never be good then. New
Exactly.
coach, new quarterback. Here we go again. Then, a couple years later, then we'll be starting over with the new GM again.
Right,
Like,
right.
so it's just a recurring cycle.
A
It's been the
recurrence
same.
cycle that
It's really been this recurring cycle in the last 30 years. It's been the same recurring cycle.
right.
New GM, new quarterback, new offensive coordinator, new head coach. One might do okay for a couple years, and then we right back at it again. Top
they,
five pick.
they
It's
can't get
just,
right.
yeah, we just a
Right.
franchise they can't get right. We haven't really had a. I don't think we've ever really had the dominant franchise quarterback since in our existence.
Ever. Ever.
No,
And we
and
probably
like
have and now we probably got the most talented one we've ever had. Probably the most talented one in the league, bar none. And we still just can't get it right. It's
right,
just we just got to look
So
at the organization as a whole. Just
right.
stick to the plan. The one thing they do need to do, like we say, Eberflus has to go.
Eberflus
Eberflus
got to
has
go
to, has to
absolutely.
go. Start from there, and
Right, right.
so we all agree on that one.
We all in agreement. And FYI, I'm with you guys. And hell no. In regards to Caleb Williams, Negro, I bring comedy to the pod. Bring comedy, man. Already know. We already know, man. In regards to this situation, we gotta stick with Justin. Gotta stick with Justin. Why start all over, do this all over again? It's no point. We've been doing the same thing over and over again. Caleb Williams is talented, but he's not more talented than Justin. I just don't see it. And so that's just me. Not saying that. We not saying y'all on the Early Morning Sports Talk podcast that Caleb Williams won't be a talent. He probably come in
Yeah.
the league and ball out. It's just for our situation. We believe in who we got. That's that. We should believe that we will build around what we got. And so with that being said, y'all, damn, we done spent the whole 40 minutes on the Bears. Um, yeah, and I'm saying that based off of the time. It's 9:38. And so I know we spent 30 minutes on the Bears. That's still a lot. And so with that being said, fellas, let's now progress with our conversation. Let's talk some NBA. And so with the NBA, fellas, question. So, based off of what we've seen thus far this season, what teams and or players stand out to you positively thus far this season? And then on top of that, Annie Jamar, what teams and or players have been concerning? It's gonna be fun. And so, Jamar, what teams have or players have positively stood out for you this season, or
Man,
negatively?
all right. I'm going to the negative side. Didn't I tell y'all about James Harden? Didn't I? Didn't I? Like for one person, I know one person on this pod for sure wanted. Like I want James Harden in Chicago. No, I do not want that man at all. Do not even bring up that man. That man after this contract, he should be out the league. After this year, do not. He, as you see, matter of fact, I'm gonna do positive and negative with the same person. You see how the 76ers have been balling without James Harden? Addition by subtraction there. They act like they love to play they love the game to play they love the game of basketball. They out here hooping. Maxey is accelerating. Joe Embiid's happy again. The role players out here just doing their thing. The Sixers are doing better than I thought they would so far without James Harden. Number one team in the Eastern Conference with one loss, the Philadelphia 76ers. Look at that. Now let's look at the Clippers team that I did like before they made this acquisition. My gosh, like whatever Westbrook was doing prior to, that's no longer there no more.
Right, it went out the window.
It's like, where does James Harden fit in? Like, Stephen A. Smith probably made a great point when that trade happened. Like, if one of those players, like Kawhi or Paul George, wasn't healthy or whatnot, and or both of them were healthy, and you have James Harden, fine. I mean, it fills a void, but you just created a log jam now. Like, what are you gonna like? There's not enough basketballs to go around. It's not, especially the way that he plays and the way that he came out and said, "I'm not a system player. I'm the system." Like, dude, at what point do you like try to fit in, or you don't? Like, do you care? Or see, I know I mentioned a few minutes ago about the NFL players, like the ones that like love to play the game and the ones that just out here, just using it as a lifestyle. It just seems like James Harden is the one, it's the latter, right? That does not love to play the game. If you love to play the game, like you're gonna make sacrifices, you're gonna do things to help the team win, like because you love the game so much that you want to win. But if you like out here just gonna force your game into a situation that doesn't need to be forced, you just creating conflict. And if you create a conflict to a team that I feel like already was like had the right mindset, and it just creates more problems. Like James Harden and the Clippers do not make sense to me. It never did, and it's proof in the pudding. That's the negative. The negative, the Clippers, the James Harden. Like, what the bleep was you thinking?
Yeah.
Mic drop if I had one.
Yeah, and bro, what are your thoughts, man? What positives, what teams or players that you thus far this season see as being positive and also on a negative? What stand out to you positively and negatively, and/or?
Well, I'll go positive. The Nuggets look like they, never lost a step.
Yep.
Look like they just picking up where they left off, and like they ain't gonna go on another run. Luca, he's been balling.
Luca
Luca's
on the
been
MVP
balling.
chase, ain't he? He balling, bro.
Yeah, Luca's been balling. The 76ers. 76ers been balling. Um, and those Clippers. I mean, did they really need James Harden?
No.
They didn't really need him, but I get it. He wanted to be in LA for whatever reason.
Well,
Um,
you're from the area, right?
yeah, from the area
I
and
don't give a never mind.
party reasons.
Right.
Um, I don't know. I think that probably really hurt their chemistry. Like they got a picture of when James Harden walking in, like his first time walking in the locker room. And they got a picture of Terrence Mann, and he looking like, what he doing here?
He
So
already know it.
yeah, so it's almost like, man, he just walked in and kind of killed the chemistry of the team. So I know it's gonna just can't insert them and think they just gonna run off 10 games in a row. It'll take some time, but I mean we'll see. Right now it's not looking good, but give them some time. It's still early, but
Right.
not
Still
looking good. Yeah, but Denver, man, Denver looking like Denver looking like they unbeatable. I know they got one loss, but they looking like they just gonna do it again.
it's interesting, man. And let me just jump in, bro, because watched a really good game between the Warriors, right, and the Nuggets
Hmm.
the other day, y'all, and it went down to the last shot. They were in Denver, and Draymond didn't play. Not saying that Draymond gonna stop Nikola Jokic, but
Yeah,
possibly he could have an effect as he does with a lot of people.
yeah.
I'm really interested, y'all, in those two. Now, the Nuggets, they look like the best team. The one game they lost, y'all, and the only team that gave them problems in the playoffs last year was oddly enough the Timberwolves. The reason why is we know Jamar in because they got two bigs that can at least try to slow down the Joker. They got two bigs that can at least try. And so with that, that possibly gives the Joker a little problems. And so the Timberwolves beat the breaks off the Nuggets when they played them. But it was only one game, right? Um, Luca stands out to me positively. He's on a mission, y'all. I think maybe he done got word like, hey, people don't forgot about us, dismissed us, and thus far they look great. That the Dallas Mavericks. But I want to shout out to Tim Hardaway, y'all, the brother that almost went to Morgan Park, and it was noted as you stated, and it was noted he almost went to Morgan Park in high school. Tim Hardaway did.
Hmm.
He's balling out for the Mavericks, and they look like a different team with him playing good ball. Um, the Warriors, Chris Paul. This team gonna be dangerous, y'all. They're gonna be dangerous, man.
Yeah.
I'm really interested in the West. It's a no nice off thing. The Rockets, they're supposed to be the worst team in the West between them and the Timberwolves and the Spurs. Really? Them your three worst teams? I mean, yeah, we know about the Trailblazers. I'm not including them. They suck, okay. But literally the other three, them supposed to be like your other top four worst teams.
They beat
That's
the
a no
Lakers the
night.
other
That's
night.
that's a
Blew them
no
out.
night off Western Conference.
Yep.
Like legitly,
Yeah,
you know. I'm disappointed in Anthony Davis. He's a roller coaster.
that's
Now,
your
don't get
guy.
me. I know that's my guy, but my biggest problem, Jamar, is the inconsistency, man. He's a roller coaster, man, and he take nights off, and he's been hurt, already. This ain't a good sign for the Lakers, so I'm
Yep.
concerned heavily for the Lakers. If
They at
Anthony
8 right
Davis
now.
hurt, right? You know what I'm saying? And LeBron at his age got to carry the torch. Do the Lakers at this point and Jamar begin to do his season and say, hey, get somebody else in here? Because if not, this season can end going down the drain. Do we want to waste LeBron's prime? And so the Lakers at this point probably got to begin to try to look and see, hey, if AD can't be, I thought it would be Christian Wood, right? And it's early in the season. And the Lakers had a good win last night against the Suns. But this is the problem with the Lakers. You beat the Suns, but then lose to the damn Magic and lose to the Rockets, you know? And so, not saying that the Magic's an improved team, they are improved, y'all. They look like a better team actually than what they
Yeah,
were
for
last.
sure.
And they got to win a record. But you lose to the Magic, you lose to the Rockets, but you beat the Suns. And so that's clearly LeBron right there saying, "Hey, I took off them other damn nights, but when it come against KD, I'm getting up, I'm ready to play."
Playing to the level of your competition, huh?
Yeah, that's what he does seem like LeBron, like he does that a lot. And so my biggest concern with the Lakers, y'all, is AD's health, man. And that's gonna be important for them. And do they need to make another move to get somebody else in? The Lakers thus far has been a lot. They've been without Gabe Vincent a lot. Rui Hachimura has not played a lot. And it's somebody else I can't remember. That hasn't been playing a lot for the Lakers that played with them last season. Vanderbilt, the defensive guy, that can do a lot for them. So they've been without them three a lot. And so I'm very interested to see how that team respond. And then lastly, I just want to point out the Philadelphia 76ers. I said to Jamar and literally after the first game, I said, man, they look like they look like they enjoying basketball for real. And they are fun to watch. And we just want to put this out here on the Early Morning Sports Talk podcast. Tyrese Maxey has arrived. I'm gonna repeat again. This kid, Tyrese Maxey, has arrived. And he ain't taking no prisoners. Also, we want to put this out here in the Early Morning Sports Talk podcast. Your front runner for MVP and watch him as long as health continues. I'm putting it out here that Joel Embiid can end up being a two-time MVP 2 years in a row. If the Sixers continue on the trajectory right now, we put this out here the first few weeks that if Joel Embiid continue on this streak, it's going to be between him, Nikola Jokic, Steph Curry. Who else will be fourth, y'all? Luka.
Yeah.
Those four.
They continue.
Yeah, those four could very well, if they continue on their paths, be in the MVP conversation. It'll probably be some others. The Aaron Fox probably come creep up, etc. But yeah. Do you think James Harden gonna be in the MVP conversation, Jamar?
No. I think his MVP days are over.
I think John Morant has a better chance to be in the MVP conversation than James Harden.
Damn, he ain't even played.
and speaking of John Morant, I do want to nominate him for probably Donkey of the Year.
Just because, look bad.
Yeah, and this is
missing him bad in Memphis.
Worst record in the league. Ticket sales as much as $4 the other night.
Oh yeah, right.
1-9 on the year. And
I think one game they only was able to dress 6 players or something like that. That was crazy because they had so many people injured.
Yep, and all this could have been prevented had John Morant just behave like a normal person. We wouldn't be talking about this. We wouldn't. So that's my nominee for Donkey of the Year on that one.
Donkey of the Year, man. He see what's happening throughout Memphis. Memphis done bid a lot of Chicago style for gangs. Now all of a sudden, John Morant want to act like he a game maker, knowing damn well he went to a private school. It's the crazy part. You ain't gotta act hard. You ain't gotta act tough. Be you, partner. Be you,
man. And the last thing I'll say,
talk about him. Let him talk about you. Let him talk. That shit don't pay your bills. Let niggas talk. But John Morant, man, he see what he see on the television, etc. And that boy want to just he want to be about that life, man, knowing them. But hey, well, we judge, man. Anywho, Jody Skywalker, good morning. Good morning. He stated James Harden probably gonna flop this season, and so we'll see.
James Harden ain't been the same since the rules changed. That's what it is.
That's facts. That's facts, Jamar. Since them rules done changed, that is true. We was talking about that. Remember, Ian and Jamar. We stated would those rules affect him, and they have indeed.
Yeah, remember him and Damian Lillard was having a tough time with the rule change, but Dame really got it together, and he's balling. But I mean, James has to a certain degree, but I don't think it's really been the same though.
No, he ain't the same high level like.
But it's also been his, remember when he went after he left Houston, he didn't come back in shape. Remember, he was eating cheeseburgers and having hot dogs and stuff.
Drinking champagne with Lil Baby, yeah, for sure.
Right, yeah, drinking champagne with Lil Baby at the strip clubs in Atlanta and all that stuff. He came back to the same sense.
He just loved the lifestyle. He don't love the game.
I think so.
Oh, that's a good one, Jamar. That's a good question. Does James Harden just love the lifestyle and he fell out of love with the game and he just hustling at this point?
I think so. I think that's part of the reason he in LA. I mean, of course, he's from LA, but I think that's part of the reason too.
That market.
and
Absolutely.
that lifestyle out there, that party life.
Right. Mm,
That's what it is.
this
I
is
mean,
life.
proof is in the pudding.
That's a deep one. That's
Boy,
a deep one.
but before we change topics, there's two teams I definitely just want to point out for the positive, though, that I didn't get a chance earlier because I was on my James Harden tangent. Uh, the Timberwolves. I know you alluded to the Timberwolves beating the Nuggets earlier, but I mean they're 6-2. Your boy Anthony Edwards, who I definitely became a fan of in the last 2.5 years, has definitely been on a tear, and I love watching him play. I really do love watching him play. That man plays defense. Did you see the game against Boston where he pretty much put the
Yeah,
clamps on Tatum when
He
it
put the
counted the
clamps
most?
on
Tatum.
Tatum.
Yep.
And took
Hmm.
him to him on the offensive end, as he do
Yep.
everybody. Nobody can really stick him.
At all. Like,
Anthony Edwards is a truth.
yeah, watch
Yeah.
out for most improved, MVP consideration, all that stuff. If they keep playing like this.
Right.
Yeah,
And
for
you know
sure.
who else I want to put out for the Timberwolves? Because I was going to head there, Jamar. I ran into a stack, y'all, yesterday. Mike Conley, the point guard. Have we forgot about Mike Conley? Have
Oh no.
we?
We have.
I have. I'm being honest. I have. And Mike Conley legitly has went away into the woodworks, y'all. And we like, what happened to Mike Conley? The first game he had a turnover, y'all, on his first possession. After that, I believe he's on a streak to where he hasn't had a turnover since. He's been like overly efficient, just amazingly efficient. And hence it makes sense why the Timberwolves are 6-2. They got a Floyd General, a real point guard that seems to be playing like the Mike Conley that we knew in Memphis.
That is probably the perfect fit for them. Like definitely a better fit for that offense as opposed to like D'Angelo Russell was for them or whomever else they had at the time. I mean, it probably allows Anthony Edwards to grow and blossom too. So
Right.
Yeah.
You got a point guard, yeah.
and
Get him in
the
his
other
spot.
another team I want to mention, last team is I don't know if Victor's still watching or not, but the Indiana Pacers.
Yeah.
They've been a breath of fresh air. I think Tyrese Halliburton has like turned it up a notch.
Yeah.
Um,
Beat those Bucks the other night.
They did, and it's rare to have a trade in any sport where both teams are the winner of it. But I feel like that Tyrese Halliburton for Sabonis trade, I feel like that was like a win-win for both teams, and you see it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you got Buddy Yield in that trade too, who've been balling out.
Exactly. So yeah, I mean, I just want to give flowers to the Pacers. They turning the corner here.
Yep, absolutely. They are
Dang,
absolutely.
dude,
And they got some,
Halliburton averaging 11 and a half and 6 a game. That's crazy.
right. And let's not forget on the Pacers, that's a good one, Jamar, because I was thinking about them. I just didn't state them, but they were in my head when I was talking. They got some hard workers. Obi Toppin from the Knicks. That's a good, hard-working guy, blue collar, right?
Mm.
Yep.
Bruce Brown from the Denver Nuggets. Good,
Champion.
hard-working,
Yeah. Champion,
right.
yep.
Daniel Tice, good, hard-working, productive German center who just came off of a FIBA World Cup championship and has been a pretty productive center. Miles Turner, who just appeared on the Knuckleheads podcast. Not that matters, but Miles Turner.
I mean, when healthy, that man can definitely
He
make
can
an
stretch
impact.
the floor, though, for real, can't he, Jamar?
He can stretch the floor and he can block shots.
Yes, he can. Yes, he
So
can.
you definitely have a lot of, like you said, blue collar, hardworking individuals that they kind of gritty, right? In a sense,
They ain't got nothing to lose,
they just out there balling.
right?
Those guys, they probably love the game, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yep. And what the hell can they do in Indianapolis compared to LA? It's not a comparison. Completely different roads. And so this is very, very interesting. And so shout out to Rick Carlisle, man. And, remember him back in the day, y'all. He had a good run with the Pacers. They was a tough team, and he got them back to relevancy again. And so I'm rooting for the Pacers. As a Purdue guy, I am rooting for the Pacers. I want to see them have a little bit of success, man, and be a team that could,
I ain't going that far.
I would love to see it.
I'm not
It'd
going
be
that
nice
far.
to see. I know it ain't gonna happen, but I would like to see them just be a good team, just fight.
Okay, that's the point where we cut it off at. Like they can be a good team. That's it. Uh, Vic said Miles Turner can't rebound, but everything else, yes. Fair
Yeah,
enough.
yeah. But Jamar, why not for the Pacers? Why not? Because you're a Bulls fan, or
I mean that part, and also like, do you know how many like Indiana Pacers fans, Indianapolis Colts fans that be in my ear like all the time that just be one in their mouth, just talking
Jamar?
about how bad my teams are, which I get. We understand Chicago sports fans. We understand that our teams suck,
Yeah. We just
and
have
we're
nice jerseys.
at all. We at least we're gonna lose with style around here, okay? But yeah, I mean it's I don't have any ill will against them, but just for certain individuals that just be running their mouth.
Okay, yeah, it's
Yeah,
saying me, which is Victor Young. He's
yeah,
stating that he will be in your ear if the
yes.
Indiana Pacers have success this season. And so, yeah, me as a basketball fan, I want to see the Pacers just, be a
I,
hardworking team,
I wouldn't mind it.
win a few games, be respectable, be a team that can scare some Eastern Conference threats, because everybody just looking at the top, two teams. Ain't nobody even looking at the Sixers. People saying with the Sixers, can they keep that going? And so everybody just looking at two teams. So we're gonna see y'all how it all progress. And so yes, well, that concludes our NBA combo, good combo. And so let us now progress y'all to NFL reactions and overreactions. Jamar, in. Is it an overreaction? As we asked about Miami Dolphins a few weeks back, within this same segment, is it an overreaction to think that after last weekend's loss to the Kansas City Chiefs, that the Miami Dolphins will still be contenders if they were to make it into the postseason? Because based off of how they look, they
Yeah,
lose to the bad team. I mean, lose to the good teams, beat up on the bad team.
yeah. So last week I was saying like I still think they're a contender as of right now. I'm gonna say at this point with them, like that's a good thing. You can beat the teams you're supposed to beat, but at this point, if you're trying to get to that next level now, you're gonna have to go out there and beat one of the
The
top
elite.
tier teams in your conference for sure. So yeah, until I actually see it now, I cannot put them in that certified contender status. I feel like they're on the fringe, but just not certified contender yet until I see them beat somebody of relevancy.
Mm. And it's so interesting. Is it all that offense in, but you can't beat the good teams. But they look fast, explosive against some teams. It's such an oxymoron. Your thoughts?
They need to beat the elite teams, as Jamar stated, to be talked about. I mean, they are talked about as, one of the best teams because of their record, but to get to that next level and to be a team that everybody truly believes in and truly see them as an elite team, got to beat some of the other elite teams. You got to be in those games. You got to make it tough. They got to make a deep playoff run. Um, and they have a very talented team, but they're not beating the team just as good as them or in their same playing field. So
Right,
I mean, as of right
right,
now, I think they're a really good team. Um, for everybody to really take them serious and to really say, okay, the Dolphins are here. I think everybody, thought they were here, but now a couple weeks later, you're looking at their wins and who they lost to and how they play against certain teams. It's like, okay, maybe we got to pump the brakes on the Dolphins. Not saying
right.
not saying that they're not a talented team, but you gotta beat those elite teams. It's that time. This team is ready. I mean, talent wise, they have it all. So it's time.
Right, right, right. And World, what do you guys think? Is it an overreaction to think that after last week's loss to the Kansas City Chiefs, that the Miami Dolphins are still contenders if they were making it to the postseason? I think, yeah, I'd be scared. I'd still be scared of the Dolphins, damn it, because of Tyreek. I'd be scared of it. I'd be scared as hell of this dog. Like, that's just me. But like when it comes against the elite competition, this is true. They have folded. They have folded. They have folded. But I still would take this team serious if they would have come into my stadium come January. Um, Fellas, is it an overreaction to think that the best team in the AFC is not the Patrick Mahomes-led Kansas City Chiefs? Jamar.
Man, that's tough. I would say it's not an overreaction to think that, because I mean, yes, the Kansas City Chiefs are dominant, but they're not invincible, right? They have weaknesses that they can still be exploited. We know that probably their biggest weakness is the lack of a number one wide receiver, or yet someone that has truly emerged as one. So, I mean, we have within the last couple of weeks seen the Denver Broncos
push them,
and just dominated them for the most part of that game. And yeah, I think a lot of it was more so, years of frustration, blood, sweat, tears of them not winning the game against them since Peyton Manning was in uniform, but still, Denver was able to, expose them a little bit there. So we also know that there's other teams in the AFC right now that are pretty legit. The Cincinnati Bengals are as hot as it gets. Every year they start off slow. We talk about it, and now look at them. They look like that team again. The Jacksonville Jaguars, give them their flowers. They are fundamentally sound. They don't make many mistakes. Their defense is solid. Trevor Lawrence has turned the corner. They have great coaching. The Baltimore Ravens.
Right, there you go.
The team that, if you forever mention it, and I agree with you, if they actually catch some passes, they could be undefeated right now.
They could be undefeated.
And that defense is stout. So
number one ranked defense in football.
Man, and spearheaded by our former guy, Roquan. So yeah, there are teams in the AFC that I feel like they can still give Kansas City a run for their money.
Right. Yeah. And bro, is it an overreaction to think that the best team in the AFC is not the Patrick Mahomes-led Kansas City Chiefs?
No, it's not an overreaction. I mean, Jamar stated, those Baltimore Ravens are looking like, they're looking like the best team in football right now. If you really think about it, they should really be undefeated. But I think they had a game where I think the receivers had a lot of drops that game.
Oh man,
the Steelers.
Both losses.
I think it was 7 drops in the game or something against the Steelers.
Yeah, that's insane.
And I watched the Colts game, and I was just pissed off at the receivers for Baltimore that game.
Yeah, but I mean, the Baltimore's looking like the best team in football right now, honestly. So no, that's not an overreaction at all.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Is it an overreaction, fellas, to think that after the Bears win over the Carolina Panthers, to think that Matt Eberflus's job is now safe come this offseason?
What? Huh? Who? Flus? That guy?
Yeah.
Eberflus? He's safe? No. No. If it wasn't for Josh McDaniels getting canned here first, I think Eberflus would have been the first one out the door. I mean, you know how bad of a coach you got to be to get fired before Eberflus right now?
Yeah.
But it happened. So let's just like last week, I'm gonna just mention the quarterbacks that the Eberflus era has beaten. We got Davis Mills. We got Mac Jones, and then Bailey. We got Howell. We got Trey Lance. We got Brian Hoyer, and now Bryce Young. Those are 6. Those the quarterbacks that we have beaten in this Eberflus era. So yeah, I don't think anybody's job safe on that one.
Yeah, and you even got to answer that, bro. It was like a 1, 2, 3 Cancun on that one.
Seriously.
It was a 1, 2, 3 Cancun. Okay.
Jamar gave us
everything we needed to know. Yeah.
Jamar said it.
Right. Yep. All right. Let's progress, fellas. And so, Jamar, is there an overreaction? And after the recent play of San Francisco quarterback Brock Purdy, is it an overreaction to think that the NFL has figured out this quarterback, Or is it injuries to star offensive lineman Trent Williams and wide receiver Debo Samuel? All these things combined on why this 49er offense has looked awful the past 3 or 4 weeks. And so is it an overreaction to think that the NFL has figured out this quarterback? Or is it just something else? Like, is it injuries, et cetera, that's contributing to this team?
Yeah, I think it's overreaction. Like, look, I ain't saying that Brock Purdy is, this decade's Tom Brady or anything. I'm not saying that by any means. However, I feel like from the eye test and stuff, like he checks a lot of boxes. Like he fits this game so well, but you can only, I feel like, until he like takes that next step into like to that top 10 status as a quarterback, like you still have to have everything in place. Without Debo Samuel, the team struggled within itself. Without arguably the best left tackle in the game, Trent Williams, I mean, there's only so much you can do there. I mean, so we'll see because Debo is playing this week. Trent Williams is questionable. So I'm curious to see what this team looks like again when it's fully styled and you got everybody, rolling on all cylinders, especially on that offense. Because that means if the offense can get going, that means the defense can actually be top tier again. Because the defense is always on the field. As we know, as Bears fans, when we had our elite defense, we was always on the field. We can only bend for so much until it breaks. Right. So yeah, I think it's overreaction, man. They kept him and traded Trey Lance for a reason, right?
Exactly, right. And is it an overreaction to think that the NFL has figured out San Francisco quarterback Brock Purdy, or is it just possibly other things?
No, it's not an overreaction, but I do think it's just other things. Maybe they just hit a rough patch. Couple players hurt. I mean, he could have a. I mean, the guy's not perfect. No player is perfect. Players are gonna have bad games. So I don't think it's an overreaction. The NFL could, figure out, what he's good at and what's his weaknesses, things of that nature. And by them not having Debo and Trent Williams being down for a couple weeks, I think that does play a part in everything. But I think they'll be fine. I think they'll be fine. I think they'll once they get back healthy, they'll be back to the 49ers we see every week.
Okay,
We used to seeing every week.
Right. They do have Chase Young now. Yep, this is true. And so lastly, fellas, is it an overreaction to think that after drafting former Ohio State quarterback CJ Stroud, that the Houston Texan organization finally looked like geniuses rather than as the NFL version of Doofies off of the classic comedy movie Scary Movie?
Wow. Wow. Before I give my answer, I know you stated it, Brandon, but Ian, where did CJ Stroud go to?
The Ohio State University.
Okay. Yeah. So, look, I'll say this much: I would never call anybody in the Texans organization geniuses at all. From the way that their history has been, I would never call them geniuses. But did they get this one right? I say it seemed like they got this one right. CJ Stroud finally has. I feel like he's the one guy that from the Ohio State University like quarterback tree that it seems like an actual quarterback that's going to be a franchise quarterback for the future. Like you don't have any question marks there right now. It's basically you got one. I know our guy here in Chicago, we feel like we got one, but it's still to be determined. But in Houston, they definitely got one.
And I think they got a coach too, fellas. I think they got a coach too.
Correct.
I think that's
DeMeco Ryans has been
got a coach too.
Out of a coach.
Mm-hmm. And it's crazy because in a league that's offensive driven and you want offensive minded head coaches, this is one of those that actually like went against the grain and is working with him being a defensive coordinator, with him being a defensive player.
They defense stuff.
They got the sauce that the Bears need. Ohio State quarterback, defensive minded coach, and they, I'm not saying that they're the best team in the league, but hell, they look 10 times better than the Bears.
They do. They look fundamentally sound. They look like an adequate team. They look like a team that you cannot like gloss over anymore, right? Like because last few years, like we see the Texans, like we can't coon it on this one. We not even thinking about it. We moving on. Heck, we
Hmm.
beat the Texans last year.
Yep.
you know, and our offense at that time
Barely.
was broken. It took a pick and a game-winning field goal to beat the Texans, I
Yeah, I
think.
think so. Yeah.
So yeah, no, they got one, man. I'm happy for CJ. I'm happy for Nico. I'm happy for D'Amico. Everybody except for the actual front office and the ownership of that team. Everybody else, I'm happy for. Be cool.
Yeah, good hire. So Ian, is it an overreaction to think that after drafting former your Ohio State Buckeye quarterback CJ Stroud, that the Houston Texans organization finally looked like geniuses rather than as the NFL version of Doofies off of the classic comedy movie Scary Movie?
That's wild.
Yeah, that's hilarious. No, I mean it's not an overreaction. It's what just to go back to Jamar's point, like it's crazy. Out of the latest Ohio State quarterbacks coming out, he would probably be the one that you probably wouldn't think that would be doing what he's doing. Like Justin Fields is probably the most talented, out of all of them. Out of the last what three or four that's came out, but Justin is unfortunately he's struggling. God rest Dwayne Haskins' soul, but I mean he had a point where he was struggling. He was on the second team. I think maybe he probably would have got it right, in Pittsburgh, but has had an unfortunate situation happen, and JT Barrett. I mean he didn't even really make a team. I think he
Nope.
ended up just really being like a practice squad player, and I think he coaches now, some to that magnitude, but. I mean, this little CJ Stroud kid, I mean, he's been proving me wrong since even Ohio State days. And, I wouldn't say I didn't think he could get it done at the next level, but it seemed like when you don't really expect much from him, that's when he shows up big and big. I mean, big time. Like, him throwing 5 touchdowns last week and, no turnovers. And I sat right here in my living room and watched him on that last drive with 30 seconds left threw two just beautiful dimes. I was in here screaming like it was the Bears.
Dude,
It
I
was crazy.
dude,
I mean, it just he got it. I mean, for him to only have one interception and what I think he has like 12, like maybe like 14 touchdowns, something like that.
Yeah. His interception to touchdown ratio is amazing, like Aaron Rodgers. On
Yeah,
top of
man.
that, he literally that wasn't the only drive where he led his team down to pretty much a game-winning drive. Remember that Falcons game? That
Yeah.
remember
yeah,
we was counting out Desmond Ritter that game. He came back and watched the early morning sports talk podcast and had the game in his life that following day. But CJ Stroud literally right before Desmond Ritter led them down when they were at home to beat the Texans, he led them down to a
yeah.
touchdown and gave them a chance to win. It was just so clutch. So
It,
clutch.
Yeah.
dude, it was, and like to Ian's point when them two beautiful guys. When Tampa Bay scored with that less than a minute left, I'm sitting here. I'm like, dang, I'm feeling bad for CJ. Like
All right.
he
Damn.
basically had the perfect game, man.
Uh-huh.
And like they about to take a L, but then turn around and do that. I didn't at that point. I didn't think they was gonna be able to do so. But I'm like, my gosh, like have yourself a game, young man. Have yourself one.
Yeah,
Tell you,
man.
man.
That's he's been
Wow.
he's been he's been proving everybody wrong. So, and I even think a lot of people, that's probably why he didn't go number one. I think everybody, thought Bryce was going to be doing what he's doing. And not saying that Bryce isn't capable of it. I just think that
Right.
team they just
That
need some help.
organization too.
That
It's
O line, the O line need a lot of help.
I mean that, and then also I mean coaching, like y'all both stated. I think that's a big difference with
But
the
yeah,
Texans as opposed to
too.
Frank Wright
Yeah,
and the freaking Carolina Panthers. I don't believe in that one at all, and
yeah,
it's just a better structure for CJ Stroud, and he's thriving.
Right.
yeah. Humble kid too. You love to see a humble kid too.
Yep.
Facts.
Yeah. So shout out to that Houston Texans organization. They made some good choices. We know their history has not been the best. Jamar and Ian has been tough on this Houston Texans organization for the last couple of years. But they made a good pick with C.J. Stroud, and then hiring D'Amico Ryans, and that brother's turning out to be and look like a very good NFL coach. So yes, this weekend, y'all, we want to highlight some notable college football matchups. We got some big games going on this weekend, all in place for college football playoff, seeding, etc. So we got number 2 Michigan and number 9 Penn State.
Mm.
Huge game, battle of undefeated.
Big. And by
Mm.
the way, not to cut you
Yep.
off, by the way, Jim Harbaugh is suspended for the rest of the year. So this is,
This is
Yeah.
huge. This opens
yeah,
the door
so
for other teams.
yeah, so I mean they got a big game today with Penn State, and then 2 weeks from now they play Ohio State.
Exactly. You know that game
That's
coming up.
tough.
That
That's
Mm.
game's
tough.
coming up, and so it leaves the door open for some other teams to sneak in now. 13 Tennessee at 14 Missouri. Shout out to Tennessee, y'all. They have been playing decent football, and Missouri, who actually put up a nice fight for most of the game, y'all, in Athens last week. And I was kind of surprised by Missouri. Duke at number 4, 24 North Carolina, and I ain't talking about basketball. This is football. Again, Duke at number 24 Carolina. It's a good game because Duke has one of the top quarterbacks actually in college football. But they are unranked, but they are right there like number 26. 18 Utah at 5 Washington. Another Big 12 matchup. I mean, another
Yeah, big
Pac-12
game.
matchup.
Yeah.
So
Big
this is
game.
a big game right here. 5 Washington is right there on the outside looking in, an undefeated team. Just beat USC last week, and they have been clicking on all cylinders. This quarterback is the truth, and he is a Heisman candidate. And so this is a big game. Utah has been pretty consistent in themselves, and so that's going to be a good one. 21 Arizona at Colorado. We just want to highlight Colorado just because they're at 21 Arizona, 21 Arizona at Colorado. And so Arizona has been surprising folks actually. And shout out to that Arizona program. Now Ole Miss at 2 Georgia. That I'm really
Mm,
looking at that one. I'm
Mm.
looking at that one big time.
Mm.
Because Ole Miss is undefeated,
trap
man.
game.
And
Yeah.
this is a big trap game. Georgia got it tough, man. Georgia, it's the SEC. It's one of the toughest schedules, and it's pre-NFL basically. And so now Ole Miss, they are at 2 Georgia. Ole Miss got one of the top quarterbacks in college, one of the top running backs, some of the top defensive players. They have not been talked about Ole Miss at all. We have not talked about Ole Miss at all on the Early Morning Sports Talk podcast. And so this is their chance today to really open some eyes. And so we're going to see how they do it to Georgia. And then unranked USC, yes, unranked USC at number 6, Oregon. And so,
That could be a trap game for
Yeah.
Oregon,
absolutely.
for sure.
Yeah. And one thing I just want to say, like we know the SEC has been the SEC for the longest of times. We know the Big Ten here. The 2 teams in the Big Ten has been great. But I just want to point out, like, the Pac-12 I feel like has been entertaining this year.
Absolutely.
And this is the last year that we would know the Pac-12 to be the Pac-12 too. So they're going out with a bang. So I've been enjoying a lot of these teams from the Pac-12 this year. A lot of them.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. Yep. And it's one of the toughest college football conferences. I mean, it's a gauntlet every week. When we make our college football matchups, Jamar and as my witnesses, even our guests, we are highlighting a Pac-12 big game every week
Yep.
alongside with the SEC every week. And so, big game. 18 Utah, USC, all of them at number 6 Oregon. So some big games. All right, let us now progress, fellas, with our NFL Week 10 schedule. So we got some big games that's happening this weekend. And so, Jamar, we're gonna start with you. Then we're gonna follow up with you, Ian. And so, the 4-5 Indianapolis Colts at the 2-7 New England Patriots. But this is at a neutral field, y'all. And I believe this is in Frankfurt, Germany. And so, with
Yeah,
that
I
being
think that's an
said,
early game.
it's an early game. Yes. Jamar, who do you got for this one? Do the Patriots get back on track, or do the Colts get at 500?
Man, this boy. I'm gonna say the Colts, but if I felt like this game was played in New England, this might be a little bit more closer. But it's hard for me to pick New England. even the games that I had picked them recently,
They've come up
they
short.
found a way to lose the game. They like the Commanders game. They had it and they blew it. They literally had that game. But I just can't. I don't see a path to victory for the Patriots, especially on a neutral field across the ocean. And you don't have two of your best players because apparently they're not fitting in anymore. With J.C. Jackson and it was another one. I can't put my finger on it, but yeah, I got the Colts. Don't tell Victor.
Yeah. And who you got, bro?
I got the Colts on this one.
And I'm with y'all. I got the Colts. Browns at the Ravens. Jamar.
Look, I think Deshaun Watson actually going to play decent tomorrow, but I think Baltimore. We just talked about how Baltimore should be undefeated, how Baltimore has the best defense in the league, how Baltimore just overall looks like a very dangerous team, and do not let them get the number one seed at all. But yeah, I'm taking the Ravens. It's going to be a defensive game, but I trust the Ravens offense more than I do the Browns offense. So Baltimore.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good game because I think Browns offense is so underrated. And who you got for this one?
Tough divisional game. I'm gonna go Browns for the upset. I'm gonna go Browns.
Oof.
I'm gonna go with the Ravens, but I don't know why Amari Cooper keep pointing in my head as having a big game tomorrow. I don't know why. And Kareem Hunt running out his mind tomorrow. Deshaun Watson is playing tomorrow. This is a real football game right here, man. It's a real football game. This old fashioned football too. But I'm gonna go with the Ravens. I think this is gonna be probably one of the best games of this weekend. I'm gonna watch this game. I'm gonna go with the Ravens. I'm gonna just go with the Ravens. The Texans at the Bengals. Jamar.
So to point out, there's no Damian Pierce. There's no Nico Collins. There's a lot of other people that's not playing for the Texans.
No
as far as the
T.
Bengals,
Higgins.
no T. Higgins.
And
So-
I think Jamar Chase is questionable. He should play though.
I'm thinking he's gonna play. And I'm gonna base my pick on Jamar Chase playing, and I'm taking the Cincinnati Bengals. I mean they on a tear, man. And as good as CJ Stroud has been, I don't think he's the same on the road just yet.
Right.
Mhm.
So that's another factor there. So I'm taking Cincinnati. Who they?
Right. I want to put this out here before you make your pick, in. If CJ Stroud, without his weapons, going to Cincinnati tomorrow, a team that we view and respect, an organization that we have come to respect, that has been to the AFC Championship for the last 2 years, made the Super Bowl, and is an elite team with one of the best quarterbacks in football, one of the best receivers in football. If CJ Stroud go off and put this game tomorrow and beat them in Cincinnati, y'all, as a hot weather team in a cold climate that's starting to get cold, we better watch out for the CJ Stroud train. I just want to put that out there. Let's see if it'll happen. Ian, who you got? Some eyes gonna be open. He go off and put his game tomorrow. There's gonna be some real eyes.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with the. This is tough. I'm gonna go with the Bengals, but man, if he go in there, like you said, if he go in there and beat, the Bengals, with a couple of his weapons missing, man, that's
Right.
that would be tough, man.
And not to mention that Bengals defense is a good defense, y'all.
Yeah.
It is. It's solid.
They are
And that
solid.
means if the Texans go in and win, that means Tank Dell gonna have to have a superb game.
Yeah.
Mhm. And who is Tank Dell?
You don't know Tank Dell?
No, I've seen him, but he's not a big guy right now, and so like if he goes out and have a big game tomorrow,
They're gonna know him then.
Man,
Yeah,
it's gonna be some eyes gonna be open tomorrow.
for real.
Yeah, And so this is a big opportunity for this Texans team just to see where they truly, truly are. But I'm gonna go with the Bengals as well. Bengals have not proven me wrong. I've been picking this team. When I picked against them, they lost. When I pick them, they win. So hopefully they continue this train, but they are looking like the team that I thought they were. 49ers, y'all got a big game tomorrow. Brock Purdy at the Jaguars. Who you got, Jamar?
This is tough. This is about as tough as it gets.
49ers are legit. I mean, I wouldn't. If they lose tomorrow, I honestly still wouldn't be panicking.
I wouldn't either.
Start to panic, maybe. Some people might start to panic.
I wouldn't either, because that's not an easy task anymore. Just to go into Jacksonville and just get a win like that,
right? Especially across the country too.
Yeah. That them intangibles matter. Yeah, I guess I'll take Jacksonville. I got the Jacks.
Yeah. And Niners go in and beat Jacksonville.
I got the Niners. I think they get it back. I think they get it together this week.
Okay. Deebo Samuel back tomorrow. Maybe they come out and bring out some pain tomorrow.
I hope so for their sake.
Be physical, be the guy we know he is. That'll be interesting. That's gonna be they come out and win this game tomorrow. People are gonna be like, okay, the Niners are back. They are who we thought they were. So yeah. I'm gonna go with the Jags though. I think the Jaguars are slowly but they're slowly becoming a team that we thought they could be. Let's put it that way. And so Trevor Lawrence is ascending. The Saints, speaking of this offense, man, they look good, man. Alvin Kamara looks like he's back, y'all. And who the hell is this running back number 22 that looks like an all-pro receiver? Not to mention Taysom Hill balling out, doing what he always does, catching balls, running touchdowns, throwing touchdowns, just doing everything, kicking punts. He out there flipping. Who knows he out there blocking, playing tight end. Next minute they put him at linebacker. Heard he was lining up at cornerback too recently. So Mr. Taysom Hill just.
Oh, they treating this man like Booby Miles from Friday Night Lights. Paint your fence, walk your dog, grab your mail.
And he can pass.
So Mr. Taysom do it all. Hill out there, just out there, man, playing football. And so he's him and the Saints going up to Minnesota tomorrow, y'all. Who, man, Jamar, you stated last weekend this team could pull out some wins, and so they pulled out a good win last week. And I even had my brother Pillar Price, who was on with us last weekend. He stated he believed, and let me ask y'all about this, fellas. He stated he believed that the Vikings could be better with Joshua Dobbs because he's not mobile and just sit like Kirk Cousins. He moves. You got to catch him. And so he felt it make the Vikings more dangerous, actually, because he's not just sitting there like a sitting duck,
right?
Like Kirk Cousins, and it's just empty calories. He mentioned the same word as you. Jamar invented that word, and now the world's saying it. Empty calories. And literally, my brother's like, hey, he just sit back there and, you get all these stats and all that, but he's not producing victories. And Joshua, he's just move. This guy can move, and, you possibly getting this Justin Jefferson. I heard he's possibly coming back tomorrow. I'm not sure, and it'd be aggressive, the coach stated, but he'll definitely be back next week. And so, with that being said, Joshua Dobbs, he just looked fantastic last week, and they looked pretty explosive. They looked like they were a machine, actually, with Joshua Dobbs. It was crazy to see that he went from Arizona to Minnesota, and he just looks like a whole different player. But it was only one game. And so, fellas, you guys got to make a pick. The Minnesota Vikings honestly are hot. What 4 or 5 or 4 in a row? One of the two. And the Saints, that offense is hot for sure. And so I really like this game. Who you got, Jamar?
gonna take Minnesota.
Okay.
And to answer your other question, I feel like the Minnesota's floor is lower on offense because Kirk Cousins would, like, at least with Kirk Cousins, what you was getting about 300 yards in the air. You was getting the ball moved downfield. But I feel like the ceiling for that offense is higher because Dobbs brings an element that, like you mentioned, that Kirk Cousins doesn't bring, and that's more so the ability to extend plays and make plays with his legs to where basically, backyard football type plays, which can make Justin Jefferson more dangerous. Imagine Justin Jefferson on a broken play. Like, good luck with that one.
Right.
Like Jordan Addison on a broken play. Like, just things like that. I think even Alexander Madison actually becomes a better option for them in the backfield now, especially with the unfortunate injury
Mr.
to Cam
Osborne
Akers.
at the wide out. I like that kid, Osborne.
Yep, and then T.J. Hockenson. I mean, he becomes more interesting. So yeah, for all those reasons, I'm taking the Vikings. And I know you mentioned that the Saints, offense, can be pretty good. But I mean, I'll say this much: it took our team, 5 giveaways, and
No,
including
barely
on the
win.
last possession for them to get past us. So I'm gonna just say that much.
Right. I see your point. Yeah. Who you got, bro?
To be honest, I do want to go with the Vikings, but I think I'm gonna go with the Saints on this. I want to go with the Vikings, but I'm gonna go with the Saints.
Yeah. I see why. Yeah. Who do I trust more, Joshua or Derek? Neither.
That's a legitimate question.
But which organization do I trust more, New Orleans or Minnesota?
That's a legitimate question too.
I'll say I'm gonna go with New Orleans. I think New Orleans, they got more weapons, and I just like the way Alvin Kamara has been playing lately. The dude looks like he's back. I don't know what happened. He's just back. He's back. Alvin Kamara's back, y'all. And I think he has a big game against Minnesota tomorrow. So I'm gonna go with the Saints. Packers at the Steelers. Packers, we counted them out last week and they won. At the Steelers, who are 5-3. And they had a really good game last week. They at home. Who you got for this one, Jamar?
Man, 2 quarterbacks I don't trust at all, and I got to pick this game. Yuck. Give me the Steelers.
Yeah.
Give me the Steelers.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, give me the Steelers.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3 Cancun Steelers. Titans. Emmanuel Theophilus said, "Boo, Packers." Titans at the Buccaneers. Somebody got a chance to get their season rejuvenated tomorrow, unless they tie. And so, with that being said, Jamal, who you got? Titans or Bucks?
I'm gonna take the Bucks.
You going 3 Cancun? Oh, I thought we was going 1, 2, 3 Cancun on this one.
You got the Bucks too in?
No, I actually got the Titans. Will Levis look good.
He does, doesn't he?
Yeah,
he does.
He does. He
maybe
does. They look like a different football team.
Answer, maybe. I don't know.
They look like a different football team. They took them hell and high water to lose last week. They almost won last week. Yeah. I'm gonna go with the Titans, Jamar. Maybe Baker Mayfield is who we thought he was.
Maybe, but I do expect a lot of points to be scored in this game, though.
Okay, a fun game. Yeah. It's gonna be interesting, but I think Tennessee, I trust them more, but I'm really interested in seeing which stars shine the most between Derrick Henry, and Mike Evans and DeAndre Hopkins. Whichever team has a starter points and shows out the most, I think win the game. So I'm gonna go with the Titans. The Falcons at the Cardinals. Do Clayton Tune get his first win tomorrow, or are we doing 1, 2, 3 Cancun?
It ain't gonna be Clayton Tune because it's gonna be Ian's boy Kyler Murray starting tomorrow.
Oh, right. Okay, he back. Oh,
my boy is back.
Yeah, he's
I've
back
been,
like a shark attack.
yeah, I've been trying to trade
Hmm.
for him in fantasy, but nobody want to give him to me.
They like, hell no, he back. They keeping him.
Hey, if Kyler wasn't back, I would have Cancun this one, but
Yeah, it's
I'm taking
tough. I almost
It's
forgot
the
that
tough
he's
now.
back.
cards.
This is tough now. All of a sudden,
I'm taking the cards because
taking the cards. I can see why.
you can have Kyler back, and you're probably more than likely gonna have James Conner back too.
Right.
Yeah, I go Cards too.
I'm gonna go with the Falcons, y'all, just because I look at the records and I that just scares me. So I'm gonna go with the Falcons. Falcons better win this game if they wanna fulfill Jamar's prediction of winning the NFC South. You need this game.
I,
So
I, I do, but jeez.
I'm gonna go with the Falcons. But that NFC South might come down to the last weekend, as it always seemed to do as of late.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it's certainly looking like it. Um, yeah, and that's gonna be between the Falcons, Saints, and Bucks. they all they all gonna be battling in the last few weeks. Lions at the Chargers, Jamar,
Whew, 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 whew. This is tough. This one's tough. Really
Yeah, it
tough.
is.
because they at LA,
Correct. Even though that's not a real home field advantage, but I
right?
just know golf on the road himself is not as sensational as he is at home.
Right.
But Chargers have been playing better too as of
They
late.
have as of late. Yeah. Thanks to the Bears. Gave them a damn charger that they needed to win and charge their phones thanks to the damn Bears. Now all of a sudden they battery charged.
Um, I'm gonna take the better quarterback in this one. I'm taking the Chargers.
Wow. Okay. Okay. And
I'm going with the grit. Give me those Lions.
yeah, I'm gonna go with the Lions too. This Chargers pull us out. It's gonna start to bring some momentum around LA. Like okay. And so if LA win this game, Jamar, it's going and it's going to be like, all right, the Chargers started off slow, but now they look like they may be getting their feedback, and
Yeah.
so this could be a good opportunity for the Chargers for real. But if the Lions are who I think they are, they should hopefully go into LA and take care of business.
Right.
Uh, the Giants at the
No, no,
Cowboys.
you
Go
mean the
ahead.
Commanders? You mean the Commanders at the Seahawks?
Oh, okay. 1, 2, 3, Cancun, y'all. Yeah, we all going with the Cowboys. I don't think nobody was picking the Giants. Who's starting for the Giants tomorrow anyway?
DeVito.
Danny DeVito. That's right. Danny
Not Danny
DeVito. And I
DeVito.
don't know
Oh
why I
Lord.
keep thinking of the actor. Every time I hear that name,
He
I
might
just keep
well.
thinking of the
It's the
show.
same person behind center at this point.
Yeah.
They're the
I mean,
same.
But
they're a
y'all
complete
know
shit
DeVito,
show.
y'all. Shout out to Danny DeVito. He is a former U of I quarterback. Y'all know that?
Huh?
He from U of I. He went to U of I. He was drafted from U of I.
Hmm.
Yep. U of I quarterback. He's a gunslinger too. So I think they're gonna probably go out and try to do some gunslinging, but I don't think they beat the Cowboys. So yeah. But let's see. Danny DeVito tomorrow, man. This will be a big day for Illinois football if he go in tomorrow and pull off that upset. Illinois gonna be proud. See them a quarterback and not a cornerback, or just Illinois is good for specific positions, but it's never has been a quarterback, and so I'm gonna just keep an eye on that game just to see how Danny DeVito do because he's from U of I. But yeah, 1, 2, 3 can't call. All right, so 4 or 5 Commanders at the Seahawks. Jamar, who you got?
I'm going Seattle.
Okay.
Seattle's just been sneaky good, and I like them at home. Should be able to pass all over the Commanders. Pass all over the Commanders. All over the Commanders. So Seattle.
Okay.
They
And
wrote me off, but I didn't write back. I'm going to
Hey.
Seahawks.
well, if hopefully he can write tomorrow, damn it, because he's been playing like he got a damn problem with ink as of late. Geno Smith has looked terrible for the last 4 or 5 weeks. And so it's been that defense, y'all, that's been carrying him, and it's been the play calling of Pete Carroll. Hopefully he comes out, and like you state, Jamar, he can pass all over the Commanders because they tend to give up a lot of points. This Commander defense, right, fellas? They can score, but they can give up a lot of points too. And so it's going to be very interesting to see this game. I want to see the game, but I'm gonna go with this. I'm gonna go with the Commanders, y'all. I got the Commanders. That's my upset.
So one thing I do want to point out, and I'm gonna keep my own personally, is how good that pass rush is for the Commanders now, since they got rid of two of their players off that
Really
line.
good point.
That's
Really
what I
good.
want to see, personally.
Right. That's a really good point. Yep. And yeah, and I mean, you should expect a drop off, being that they had them, and now both of them are gone. You know,
Yeah.
and so it should. Like, I see why you said they should be able to pass all over them. I was just thinking when you said that, just based off of how the defense looked for the entire season, and so it should be a drop off. This could be a really good return and confidence builder for Geno. But I made my pick. I'm gonna go with the Commanders, but I see why y'all picked the Seahawks. I'm gonna go with the Seahawks too. No, I'm gonna go with the Commanders. All right. Jets at the Raiders. Again, Jamar, give me the Commanders, bro. That's my upset pick for the week.
Gotcha.
Jets at the Raiders. Who you got, Jamar?
Oh, glorious. Disney Channel quarterback Zach Wilson on primetime football once again.
He does good on primetime football.
Against Aiden O'Donnell.
I know who I got.
I'm gonna take the Raiders. I believe we it was mentioned earlier. Antonio Pierce, players running through the brick walls for people and stuff like that. You saw how motivated they was last year. I mean, not last week. That matters.
Right.
That matters. I think this team is highly motivated again. So I think they take care of business.
Okay. And
The Raiders in my Chris Berman voice.
Boomer.
I'm gonna go with the Jets. But it's interesting. So a commenter stated that the Jets are a bad football team with a great defense. And so
I guess a bad offense. It's a great defense.
Yeah, the offense is just god awful. And it starts with Zach Wilson, but he has talented receivers. He has playmakers. Wilson, I think, is an amazing receiver.
Yes.
Yeah, he is, isn't he? I think the defense is. I think the Jets defense, man, that defense, y'all, they keep the Jets in every game, just the defense alone. So I based off of what I've seen, I think they keep their trajectory again, and I think the Jets go and beat the Raiders, and maybe don't rely on Zach Wilson too much tomorrow. But Aiden O'Connell actually loses the Raiders the game. So plus you got a rookie head coach and just getting his feet wet with Pierce. So I'm gonna go with the Jets. The Broncos at the Bills. Shout out to Buffalo, who has looked average. The Broncos could win this game, Jamar. Who you got? As crazy as it sounds.
Yeah, I'm taking Buffalo, but you know how I feel.
This should be a game they should win. They should.
Yeah,
They better win. They
I
better.
just have a sneaky feeling that the Broncos gonna make this a game. They gonna make this a game. They really are.
They lose to the Broncos tomorrow, bro. Oh,
Don't get me started. Don't get me started, guys.
at home too. It's gonna be some eyebrows in Buffalo. You can see Monday. You're gonna see Tuesday morning, man. Like, is Buffalo this? Is Buffalo that? I can just see it right now. Ian, who you got for this one?
I'm gonna go Buffalo on this one.
Yeah, Buffalo better take care of business. I'm gonna go with Buffalo too. They better take care of business, because if they don't, it's gonna be a lot of alarms ringing out Tuesday morning. So, well, that concludes our NFL picks. Yes, boo Packers, Emmanuel. And so, Ian, bro, what you got for us this morning for Ian's basement?
Got Moriarty Park playing quarterfinals today. Play St. Francis at
Come on. Let's get past the quarterfinals.
Yeah, so this would be that'll be in a couple hours actually. They play at 12:30.
Yeah.
Um, and so I've been kind of doing my little segments of um this player or that player. So this week I'm gonna change it up a little bit. So um I'll do apparel. So who has the best signature shoe besides Michael Jordan? He don't even count. He's in
Okay.
another he in another echelon. So he don't even count. So besides Michael Jordan, who has the best signature line, I should say?
Okay. Jamar, you always go first.
Uh, I you got me on this one. Oof.
Yeah, it was a tough one.
Current is it does that have to be current or past or
It could be yeah, it could be
no matter?
current pass. It don't
I
matter.
mean, I'm always been a Nike guy. Always like Nike, man. Like ever since shorty, I've always rocked Air Force Ones. You know what I'm saying? Give me a fresh, crispy pair of ones. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Go to homecoming with a fresh pair of ones. You feel me? Then when I
Yep.
go outside sometime and it's cold in the winter, give me a black pair of ones. You know what I'm saying? So, I always like ones. And then just now as an adult, when I work out, I gotta have me some Nikes for running or for hooping. Always give me some
Yeah.
Nikes. Man. I'm a
Let's
big
see.
Nike guy. I love Nike.
Let me see. Signature shoe line. I've always liked Kobe's.
Okay.
Kobe's been solid. Even some of the LeBron's been good.
Yeah.
Um,
He got a new shoe I think just came out recently. He just made a commercial.
oh, I think you're right. Um, what Steph Curry was able to do with Under Armour, like I feel like some of his
Is
shoes been,
exceptional. Yeah, it's exceptional.
Yeah.
yeah.
I was just reading up on Steph Curry and Under Armour this week. Yup.
And I never owned a pair of D Roses, but I feel like his original design, the way it looked great. But I heard like I guess it wasn't comfortable or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know, but just aesthetically, it looked pretty good. Um, Ian, what are your thoughts here?
Cause Ian big on
Uh,
the
it's
sneakers. He big on the shoes. Yeah. What's your
He
thoughts?
is.
it's so many. So I think my favorite, besides Jordan, I think my favorite would be. I think I have five pair now. I think no, four or five. I would say between Barclays or Penny shoe. I
Okay.
think
Mm,
I think those two. But it's so many. Like you got I mean, you got Allen Iverson, you got T Mac.
man, T Max, I always wanted a pair of those.
Yeah, I had a pair of T Macs as a kid. You said D Rose, you got Kobe, you got
Dude,
Braun,
um,
KD. Kyrie had a run.
yeah, he
Um,
did. Dude, and just
it's a lot. Even
man,
I had a pair of Grant Hills as a kid.
the
And
Felines,
yeah, yeah,
man, those was
it's
nice.
I used to
Pippins, the air.
yeah,
Clippers.
Pippen, yeah,
Yeah.
going strong, yeah.
Heck,
Yeah.
even the switch gears, the Griffies.
Yeah, yeah, those are some of my favorites. Those are some of my favorites.
Yeah. I
Those are
used to
some of my
rock.
favorites.
I used to rock the Pro Wings too as a shorty. I remember Pro Wings,
Yeah, throwback.
the
Yeah.
throwbacks, Pro Wings.
Why pay more when
I
you
used to
pay
get made
less?
fun of at school with my Pro Wings, but
He
I used
said
to
you
rock
used to
I I understand the struggle on that one. I believe me, I understand.
them
Yeah,
Pro
man,
Wings. Boy, used to be go hard, boy. I'd be like, nobody
it's
can
so
tell me
many.
nothing to my fresh pair of Pro Wings.
It's so many. Even I mean, K Swiss had a run, man. K Swiss had
Oh
a
yeah,
run.
K Swiss. Yeah, K
Bruh,
Swiss used to be decent.
Had a
the
run,
all
man.
white joints.
All the white ones,
Man,
you can go wrong with them.
yep. Had a run.
Yeah.
It's a lot of shoes, but I think those two would be my favorite as a signature line from an athlete. I think those would be even to switch gears again. Even Dion shoe.
Mm.
Dion had a dope shoe. Yeah,
Mm, yeah.
I think those two would be my favorite though. I had to switch it up a little bit.
Right. That's what's up, bro. I like that. I like that. Real talk. That's dope. That's smart. I like that. Yeah. Real. And so
Love a good
yeah,
change of pace.
on the real. Favorite shoe line? Yeah, so many. You know? Yeah. Got me want to buy me some new damn shoes now to sudden do this conversation. And you want to buy me some new it's a good conversation on the real. And so yeah. Well, that is the early morning sports talk podcast for this morning. And so as we head into any final thoughts or shout outs, fellas, as we head into the weekend. So Jamar, any final thoughts or shout outs as we head into the weekend?
Well, I got two real quick. One, I just want to go back to the Jim Harbaugh thing. Like, look, I understand they had to make a decision, but I feel like the timing of the decision, I'm not for. Look,
Yeah, that's tough.
that is, they was getting ready to. I think either they was about to board the plane or he boarded the plane when they announced that. It was one or the other type deal.
Man,
Like,
that's crazy, ain't it?
and
So
how
he's
do you,
in state college and can't be around the team. That's ridiculous.
and the fact that like they really because they filed a lawsuit
Hmm.
against them.
Right.
But it's like, do you already have enough time to do a full investigation instead of like really suspending him based off accusations and rumors?
Right,
Like,
right.
I understand, like, cheating is cheating, blah blah blah. But did they really do a full investigation in this time frame? The only thing that I have against that is like, yeah, the team is like winning and what number two ranked in the country and all this stuff. But in the midst of their season, you choose to do this right now, and I get it. It's like this possibly potentially could open the door for other teams, yada yada yada. But like I don't know. The timing of it is just not there for me. And the last thing I'll say is like fellas, we a couple of days ago we won. Bears win. Feels good. And Brandon somewhat touched on it, the schedule coming up, but it's like we're 3-7, 7 more games left. You at Detroit, you at Minnesota, you home against Detroit, at Cleveland, home against the Cardinals, the Falcons, and then you at Green Bay for the last game of the year. I just want
That's
to
finished
know,
strong.
yeah, like can they really like? There's no like
It's
elite
not the
opponent in
toughest
this.
schedule in football. It's not at that point.
It's not. So can they really like continue to build and have momentum going into the off season here? Not saying that you gotta, be above 500, run the table or anything like that, but can you be competitive? Can you squeeze out a couple more wins? Can we get 6-7 wins off this schedule? Can change the fortune of this franchise going forward? So that's where I'm at with that.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, my bro.
Um, Everybody have a good weekend. It's gonna be sunny, a little chilly, but it's better than snow and better than the depressing rain. So everybody enjoy your weekend. Got Thanksgiving coming up in a couple weeks. Bears win, so that's always good. And the Bulls, what are we doing? We look like a lost franchise. We need to get it together. Um, I don't know what the hell we doing, but I don't like it, and I don't even I don't even have any words for them. Just get it together, man. Get it together.
Right. Yeah. First and foremost, I want to let everybody know. Remember that with God first, all things are possible. But I want to hit on my Chicago State alumni brothers. Okay. And so we got 2 5-star recruits. Okay, at Chicago State University, my former alma mater. Okay. After I left Purdue University, Chicago State, one of the best moves I made. And so during this time, I had a great time. And it's great to see the basketball program ascending. They got 2 5-star recruits, y'all, who are freshmen. And they went to Overtime Elite Academy. And so my brothers know already, as sports guys, Overtime Elite Academy is an elite basketball academy that generally produces great NBA talent that goes to the NBA. we take, for instance, the two twins, right? The one that's running for these two brothers running for Rookie of the Year already. There's been plenty of great NBA talent, first round picks out of Overtime Elite Academy based in Atlanta, Georgia. And so the Bills are playing for Chicago State right now. They are coming in fresh. At Overtime Elite Academy, they made over 30 bands per year, $33,333 per year. And so right now, yeah, I know, right? Dope. And so now they are suing the NCAA in federal court after they were denied eligibility for receiving money they say was tied to NIL while at Overtime Elite. And so basically they're arguing that the money that they received was NIL based, while the NCAA says it was a paid salary. And so the NCAA is citing that the athletes received more than $30,000 more than they need to cover their additional expenses. And so right now there's this process going on, but my biggest excitement, even outside of the lawsuit, is that we possibly, fellas, could be looking at some picks coming out of Chicago State. As crazy as that stuff.
Yeah, hopefully so, man. Hopefully they get their eligibility back and be able to play. I hate to see kids going through situations like that because essentially they're still kids. They just wanna ball.
For real.
Right. Right. And so we will keep an eye out on this situation as in 2 weeks we have a Chicago State alumnus that will be coming on with us. His brother does finance work, and he'll be coming on with us to talk some sports. And so it'll be very interesting to talk about that conversation. And so, world, we thank you all for rocking with us this morning on the Early Morning Sports Talk podcast. Again, remember that with God first, all things are possible. May you all have a blessed weekend. Stay safe and keep the peace. May you all have a blessed weekend. Thank you all for rocking with us. Have a great weekend. Be safe. Peace.
Peace.